We welcome you back to live coverage of the 2024 spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb. You are looking live at a beautiful shot of Weatherly, Pennsylvania. The 2024 Weatherly Hill Climb on WYLN is brought to you by Fairways Subaru. And many thanks to the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau, especially those watching us on PTN. We welcome you back to Weatherly. I'm Marty Burns, joined again this afternoon by Tom Knorr and President and CEO. Did I miss any titles, Chris?
No. Bottle washer.
Well, we will get to some of the other things Chris does do, but Chris Barrett joining us from the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. We made the promise before we signed off for lunch, so we've got the Centenary United Methodist Church. I've seen two Boy Scout groups that have stands here. We had the class of 2025, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the class of 2026 also has a stand here. Great food, and the thing I was reminded when I stopped at the class of 2025 stand, they have friends of theirs that are watching us live, and also they reminded me, and I'm surprised Joe didn't come over and yell at us about this, a lot of these stands will be open again tomorrow.
That's correct.
And we need to, let's get it in in the first minute. Free admission,
free parking,
great food.
Absolutely.
So,
we got a list
we
here.
Even got a list.
The gentleman has supplied us with a list. Oh my gosh. Oh, other side. Sorry. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh, grilled. Oh, pack 7, class of 26, Methodist Church, class of 25, the library, Weatherly Babe Ruth, the Whitehaven Boy Scouts, and there's a few others, but the pizza. Oh my gosh, that was the class of 2025.
That was the class of 2025. And the other sales technique they gave us was one of the young ladies at the stand said, you know, we're probably one of the only ones offering Pennsylvania Dutch birch beer. Yeah. So I started standing there as I'm waiting for the pizza and thinking, you know, I haven't had birch beer in a lot. I said, give me a birch beer. Great sales technique. Thank you.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
So come on out. A lot of great organizations, as we talked about, that they're using this as their fundraiser. And as we said, we're only going to be here today, but the hill climb continues again tomorrow. And a lot of these food stands will be back tomorrow, so you'll be able to enjoy a lot of the food. And across the way, there's a souvenir stand that the Weatherly Hill Climb Association puts forth. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats. But the other thing, and I know both of you gentlemen have been talking about the history of the Weatherly Hill Climb, pick up the program. Not only does it have ads that are sponsoring the program, but of course, as you see, wherever you go for a hill climb, it has the records by class.
And it's free.
And there you go. So there's a lot of the history. And maybe the one thing before they get started with the first run of the afternoon, the nice thing I like that Weatherly does here at their hill climb, they have a Hall of Fame, or Wall of Fame, I guess is the official term.
Hill of Fame.
It's done, I guess, right after the lunch period before they start the afternoon session. And this year, we talk about a lot of the guys and ladies that come back year after year after year. One of those that's being inducted is Steve Lewis.
Is who?
Steve Lewis.
Yes. Yeah, Steve was involved as a driver for many years, but he also took over for the wireless timing, him and his wife Nancy. And unfortunately, he died last year. In fact, he was here for this event and a Giant, but shortly thereafter he passed. But he drove a Mustang for many years. As I said, working this wireless system can be kind of complicated, and it takes time to set all this stuff up. So we used to run wires, and at least probably 15 years ago when I was the president of PHA, I looked for something else, and I came up with finally, we utilized this wireless system. And one of the drivers here, Grace Hunsinger, she was instrumental in getting it to work. Buying it and getting it's one thing, but they actually went to every hill climb and figure out where they'd have to put the sensors. But Steve really took over, which was a huge help. So he, along with many others that we lost recently, will certainly be missed.
And I know you mentioned Steve and Nancy. They were one of those that you saw year after year, whether we were here or Giants to Spare, that shared cars.
Oh, yes. They shared a Mustang. Really fast Mustang. Really nice car.
And the way to differentiate, they put the black tape over one part of the number, and
Right.
as we see at the starting line, the Robinsons, this will be the 19 car, but then when they share it off, they'll take the tape off and have the 191. You see that often with a lot of the families and groups here.
My son Garth and I did something that I don't think will ever be done again. At Duryea Hill Climb, I have 2 race cars. We raced both of them. And he would run, and then I would run the one car. And I'll tell you, it was a busy time, especially at my age, running both cars. But that was a fun weekend. A little more expensive than normal.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to pay the entry fee twice.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tom, you had mentioned it when we were off air as we were getting ready to come back here for the afternoon session after lunch. The crowd that is gathered here, where you had said that generally Saturdays maybe not as busy, and Sundays is when we get the crowd.
Largest
a great
I've
crowd
seen.
has gathered here this afternoon.
Yeah, largest I've seen in years, maybe forever, here on Saturday. But the weather's beautiful. And again, people are becoming more aware, putting this program or on this hill climb on the air, people learn about, what's going on in their area, and that really promotes it. Great advertising.
And I'll say this, and not just because we're here, but any kind of advertising that has to go on with the Weatherly Hill Climb, I'm always a big believer that if the leader isn't willing to do it, how can you ask somebody else? Joe Seibert is always front and center when it comes to promoting this hill climb.
Yeah.
And he's got 4 days that he has to represent. We talked about this is the spring edition today and tomorrow, and then there'll be a fall edition that Chris mentioned earlier this morning that'll be coming up in September. But Joe works tirelessly, and then he's got a lot of great volunteers that help him in that. But whenever you talk about promoting this event, Joe Seibert is always front and center.
Oh yeah. He got involved, my goodness, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, when the event was close to going away. The numbers were down, but he started the Weatherly Hill Climbing Association. It's a relatively small group, but I mean, this is a year-long job doing everything that has to be done with this hill climb. You see the 38 Jaguar over there?
Yes.
61. She ran this hill climb for a number of years during the lean years. Yeah, that car, they raced a lot of those in England. And they competed against the old Galaxy, Ford Galaxies.
Wow.
Great racing over there.
And I guess as we've got the time, I might as well mention it. I remember when we used to come here and the different food stands, they were just under tents.
Yep.
Now, Joe and his organization has put together this very nice pavilion. You got the picnic tables in the middle, and then the different stands can loop around. And, they're undercover.
Yep.
And a lot of that was spearheaded by the Weatherly Hill Climb Association, and a lot of that under the leadership of Joe Seibert. But this whole area that the hill climb is in has transformed just from the little bit of time that we've been here.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot more cars when I started in the 60s, but we had no pit area. There was a little stand over there in the corner before the start line, and we had a lot of cars, but you know where Urana Park is?
Yep.
Very nice park in Weatherly. We would actually pit the cars over there. We'd have to drive them through the streets to get over here to the event.
And I remember the night before is always the big thing with the parade and the fireworks and that. And if you park up in some of the residential sections, a lot of people will have like yard sales and that just to coordinate with the hill climb and that. But it's become really a community event from whatever you do Friday night, and then you get the different Weatherly organizations to participate with the food stands, be that big fundraiser for them that maybe they wouldn't be able to have in another time.
Right. And of course it benefits the hotels, the motels, the restaurants in the area. There's no question about that.
And then sort of like we talked with Chris earlier this morning, especially with some of those that come out of state, if maybe they don't want to go home right away, then it ties in with what Chris is doing with the Pocono Mountains, that maybe they stick around and do different activities in the Poconos.
Yeah, right.
Leadville Park, New York, in his midget speedster.
I believe that car is powered by a motorcycle engine. They're very light, they're very short wheelbase, but they go like crazy on this hill climb. Yeah, they brought those cars here a number of years ago to promote them. They're made out of the country.
Okay.
I think maybe England. And they wanted to promote them and, try to advertise so they could sell them. Today, I think there are at least 6 of them here.
Number 17 is up next.
We almost didn't catch him on camera. He went by so fast.
And when I was the president of the Pennsylvania Hill Climbing Association, we had a banquet every year. I called it the Hill Climbing Family Reunion because it really is a family. We, as competitors, we help each other. There always seems to be something wrong with one car or another. But we have people from all walks of life. We have engineers, doctors, lawyers, teachers, carpenters, mechanics, you name it. We have people that have been involved.
Well, and that's the beauty, because you always hear the stories of where maybe on a Saturday a competitor has a real serious issue with their car maintenance-wise, and I know you said there was a competitor last night working until 10, 11 o'clock getting his car ready, but you hear where not only is that participant working on his car, but you hear 2 or 3 other groups are getting together and helping them so that they can come back out the next day and be able to compete. And, like you said, they may be direct competition within their classification.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my competitors raced a Mini, and we were always back and forth, but we always help each other out. And Rich Rock, you know who he is? He's the current president of the PHA. He's working, driving the course truck.
Okay.
And we were competitors for many years, but I can't tell you how many hours he helped me over the years. Not just in the hill climbs, but at road races too. Because there's always, you're really putting a lot of stress on these cars. There's always something that has to be fixed or something that breaks. And that's not talking about hitting anything. Now you hit something, that of course makes it even worse.
And I'm sure one of those, and even if, the perfect world is that you don't have to make any repairs on a Saturday into a Sunday, I'm sure there's a lot of time that's spent between competitors where there's stories exchanged and...
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of of course, we've had a lot of people that are retired from racing, mostly because, like me, of age. But thank goodness we have a good bunch of young people coming in.
And I think that goes back to the thought of, we have a couple competitors that are from Weatherly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were in this group years ago when they were much younger. And, the hope is that some of these young people that are here today get that itch and they want to participate in future hill climbs.
And also participate as a member of the association. That's open to anybody. Anybody who lives in this area that would like to join. It's all volunteer work. And likewise, we have corner workers here. And we always need corner workers.
So the corner workers, Tom, are the folks that are along the track, correct? That are
right. Every turn has
spotting
a
and
corner
marking.
worker.
Okay.
That's right. They have a fire extinguisher. They have a radio because they're in complete contact with control down here. And they have a red flag. So if something happens with a car on the hill, they throw a red flag. So the driver knows they have to come to a controlled stop. You don't want to end up going through the jump turn to discover there's a car in the middle of the road.
Right. And that all kind of ties back to safety. right? That safety is the number one consideration in this race, or any race really, but especially this one.
Yeah. Well, if you look at this hill, you've got poles, you've got trees, you've got guardrails. So you really don't want to go off course. And we've got some huge boulders up at the top of the hill. So that's why we have harnesses, roll bars, roll cages. I think the fire extinguisher is a waste of space, because if my car ever caught fire, thank God it never did, there's only one thing I'm going to do, and that is to get out of the car. I don't
That's the
care
best
about
fire
the
extinguisher
darn
ever.
car. But we see very few of those, very few fires, because again, most of these cars have fuel cells.
You know, just you guys were talking about the free program. So I was reading in the free program that this event started 1960, Weatherly Rotary
61.
Club.
Here's Jimmy Barron's car. The guy that was driving that, the steering wheel came off. And
Oh,
jumped.
16, okay.
That's the car he was driving.
Right here in the program, folks. But so it was started by the Rotary Club. That's interesting.
Yep, the Rotary Club is the one that ran the event when I started running. And they may not even have a Rotary Club in town anymore.
And it was in the October. October was the first time the race was run during the fall.
Yeah.
Which that's interesting.
Looks like Mr. Robinson may have had an issue with his car. I don't know if they're going to send the
Well,
speedster
he drives
up.
a Corvette, that yellow Corvette.
So the drivers we thought went up didn't really happen in our mind. We're going to see it again.
And Tom, you were saying you think this is a motorcycle engine.
I believe so. Some of them are snowmobile engines, but they're not very big engines. But I'm sure it's fiberglass body. There's not much weight to it, so they accelerate very fast. They're easy to stop because they don't weigh very much, and they have the suspension set up that allows them to handle extremely well.
What's the horsepower rating for something like that? What's the horsepower rating?
I would guess it's probably not even 100.
Oh, wow.
It might be over that, I don't know.
But the body's so light.
Oh yeah, it's just, well, some drivers, as I think I said earlier, talk about the correct line through a turn. Well, that's totally false. It depends on the car. It depends on the power of the brakes, the handling of the car, and the driver himself. Yeah.
Seems like the officials are saying they didn't get a finish.
So that would indicate a timing issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they're having so many issues.
So maybe there wasn't necessarily an issue with either of the cars that went up, that they may not have gotten their time. And as we mentioned, even though it's not an average, the best time of the weekend is what you have at the final come the end of the day tomorrow, but you still want to get your time to register.
Right. The fastest time, regardless of the day, is the time that you keep. And usually most drivers are smart enough to first run, they take it easy. Because conditions change from year to year. But if you look over there, you see that yellow, it looks like a telescope?
Yes.
Well, that's the timing advice. If anybody breaks that beam, walks through it, it really wreaks havoc with the timing system. So, but this is totally wireless. It's all connected by antenna. Yeah, Duryea Hill Climb in Reading, that course is 2.5 miles long. How would you like to run a wire for 2.5 miles?
Oh, wow.
Quite a job.
So once again, we're waiting for the timing issues to be resolved. You're watching live coverage of the spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb 2024. I'm Marty Burns, joined by Tom Knorr. and by Chris Barrett from the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. We've talked about the food stands and mentioned some great food. And always keep in mind, you can come down either the rest of the day today or tomorrow. Free admission, free parking, great food. So we invite you to keep that in mind. And while we wait to get restarted, we had hinted that Chris does some other things with his Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau and PTN. And Chris, one of the great things on PTN, not only do we air different programs of yours on WYLN, but I know you're also on in Service Electric in the Hazleton area. And you get to click over and see what you guys are doing. And you and your crew do a lot of great things, whether it's going and touring restaurants and hotels and getting out to the water park, ski resorts, hikes, trails, golf courses. But one of the things I think that are interesting, and not only do you do them, but have guests on to talk about history of different places in the Poconos. And I think that no matter what you do, you always got to keep the history of what you're doing in perspective. I mean, we talk about it here with the hill climb, but you do a great job of that with doing it with the Poconos.
We have a program which I just love, Pocono Perspectives. It runs anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes, and we interview folks who are either directly related with the history of the Poconos, or they're representing a property like Gray Towers, for instance, in Milford, is one that comes to mind, or the Asa Packer Mansion, or the railroads that are running through the Pocono Mountains. And they talk a little bit more about, or who was Jim Thorpe, for instance, right? So we hear a lot about Jim Thorpe. Who exactly was he? What was his notoriety? So it just gives people a different look on the Pocono Mountains and talks a little bit about the history pieces. Because it's interesting, you know, like Carbon County. So you look at why is this named Carbon County? There was a tremendous amount of coal that was mined here in the late 1800s into the early 1900s. It really fueled the Industrial Revolution in the United States and really throughout the world. Lehigh Coal and Navigation was probably one of the biggest companies in America in the 1860s. So that was all right here in Pennsylvania in the Pocono Mountains. So we kind of like to explore that. We love to explore the history to just give a different perspective. And there's a lot of folks who love to visit, or they're history people. And we just said, you know, the Asa Packer Mansion is just an amazing property.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's frozen in time from the early 1900s, and it really was. You know, Asa Packer was one of the richest men in America in his time. He knew Lincoln. His contemporaries were people like Abraham Lincoln, which is crazy to think about right here in the Poconos. So a lot of stuff to really to look at there and to view it on PTN. And since we're talking about PTN, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Marty mentioned some of the cable systems that we're on. We're on a number of different cable systems in Pennsylvania. Also, too, you can get us on a number of different streaming apps. We also have a YouTube channel that streams concurrently to our linear television. And also, thank you if you're watching us on WDPN 2.8 Wilmington, Philadelphia. We're happy to have you here, too, as well. And you're watching the Weatherly Hill Climb from Carbon County in the Pocono Mountains, an event that's been going on for about 61 years now, over 60 years here. Really, really cool. We have somebody with us who's run it a number of times. So he's giving us really, really good insight to how this event is run on a year-to-year basis. And Marty even mentioned the local residents who are really dedicated to bringing it to us year after year. Oh, there we go. Timing issue resolved. Good.
The timing issue has been resolved, so the first two drivers get to go again. And as we said, you know, it's your best time, but you really like to have that time because we talked about there's always adjustments. So you want to see, like you said, you take that first run, get a feel for the course. This is the run you want to see where you're at time-wise,
Right.
and see what you maybe have to want to do different.
Yeah, you can change air pressures in the tires. The elevation is a critical factor because of air pressure, so you may want to change your adjustment on the carburetors, which, you know, I run up a rock in the blend. And the air is a lot thinner up there than it is down here because of the difference in elevation. But I also ought to add that every one of these cars that runs here is inspected prior to the event to make sure that the car meets all the specifications. The suspension isn't loose.
Now it's number 17.
Safety is always our top priority.
We want to thank you again for joining us. As Chris had mentioned, the different ways that fans throughout the state can watch us here on WYLN. The Weatherly Hill Climb brought to you by Fairway Subaru in conjunction with PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Get a look at the 17 of Heather Long.
I think this is where we left off, right? This is
Yes.
before we had the timing issue, was on Heather Long.
And fans were promoting that you could come out the rest of the day, or the Weatherly Hill Climb Spring Edition will continue again tomorrow. So as we've said, if you want to plan a last-minute trip, come down here tomorrow. Free admission, free parking, great food. Check out the last day of the Weatherly Hill Climb Spring Edition, then stay around and maybe take a tour of Jim Thorpe, not far from here, and or so many different things you can do in the Pocono Mountains. Since we're promoting it, Chris, if you want to give your website, because I think your website is tremendous for so many different ways, and we could get to it. But first, if you want to give that.
Sure. Thank you. PoconoMountains.com is where you'll find everything. And also, too, if you want to stream PTN, you can find us anywhere you are at PoconoTelevision.com. You can download our app. We have, an iPhone app, also, too, an Android app. You can view it 365, 24/7, anytime. That gives you all the kind of little nuances and advantages of visiting the Pocono Mountains. It's really, really a great resource to use.
And the thing I love about your website, it is constantly changing, and it changes according to the season. So
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
spring, you may have some different things to do in the summer, and I know not to take anything away from any of the other seasons, but so often you hear where people want to come in the fall because they want to see the fall colors.
Yeah, I love the fall. I really do. Beautiful weather. It's a little more moderate. The leaves are changing color. It's just a gorgeous time of the year when this race started. And I think that was probably part of it, I would bet, is the climate was nicer, but it's just a more beautiful time of the year. And you're right, Marty, we do change out the content on the website based upon the time of year. So in the winter, you'll find winter activities, spring, summer, fall, as you noted. And the other thing, too, is on your phone. The website is mobily optimized, which means that if you visit the destination, you're like, oh, wow, what can I do while I'm here? You could just go onto the app. And the app will really, really give you all the information that you need, too. And the other thing is we've added, since last year, cameras. So if you go on our website, on our homepage, you can click on and take a look at any one of our cameras. We have 40 cameras located all throughout the Poconos. So, for instance, if you feel like skiing and you want to take a look at what Blue looks like, Blue Mountain or Camelback or any of our ski areas for that matter, you can go and take a look at that. We're adding cameras all the time. Beautiful sunsets from the mountains. And our waterfalls, so you can view all of that stuff from our webcams and take a look. Even our downtowns, we have one in every one of our downtowns as well, just to take a look at them and say, I want to visit this. What does it look like? There you go, right at PoconoMountains.com.
And I'm wondering if the timing issues have continued because both drivers have come back down again. We'll have to see if they get another run here or what's going to transpire. And I know I'm throwing this out there because this is live television, Chris, and I never asked you before, but I'm guessing on your site you talked about ski resorts, or we're currently in the warmer weather, maybe golf courses or that. I'm guessing those businesses offer different types of deals that maybe you could get on your website?
They do. One of the things I always say to folks as well is if you go on our website, check out, and you'll go up to the navigation bar up top, click on midweek deals.
Okay.
So Sunday through Thursday, if you're local too, or not, you can really find some amazing deals if you could visit during the week and you have flexibility in your schedule. So we really encourage folks to do that, and then they can plan so many things around it. The website's just a great planning tool.
And one other thing I didn't want to gloss over before we get back to the racing. We had talked about when we were in break, Chris. I know you have a great toolbar also about finding employment opportunities.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
For people that are in the area or coming and, relocating in the area or whatever, there are various businesses that are looking for help, and your website offers a great tool for them to possibly find employment.
That's true. So 2 ways, and thanks for bringing that up, Marty. If you're local and you're looking for a job, you can go on our website, find a lot of posted jobs there. Also, too, if you're an employer, we offer that service free of charge. So any employer can come onto our website and upload a position description. Folks can go on there and take a look and hopefully get a job here in the Poconos.
Now, Tom, we had talked about it. She waited patiently in line, but we've got Sue Salzberg in the 38.
That's right. She is from Mays Landing in New Jersey. She's been hill climbing for a long time. It's a 61 Jaguar, and it's not really the greatest vehicle to be running a hill climb, but in road racing in England, they race against the old Galaxy 500, Ford Galaxy 500. They're really fun to watch. They really go fast.
And as you talk about somebody like Sue, the care you have to put into that car, because she's been doing these hill climbs that we've covered for many years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it'd be strange if we went to a hill climb and didn't see her participating, but the amount of time and effort that you have to care for your car.
Oh, right. Oh, absolutely. We don't run as many miles as you would, for example, in a road race, but there is, especially on the drivetrain, because these starts are brutal on the cars. I used to break axle shafts. I've also destroyed differentials because there's just so much power going to get that car started.
I loved her vanity plate, Old Cat. That's her vanity plate.
Yeah, you never know when something's going to break. I was running at New Hampshire where NASCAR runs, and they have a road course there. One of the turns goes uphill. So the lead car spun, so I ended up in the lead. I go through this turn that goes uphill. I go to put the power going through the turn, nothing. I broke an axle shaft. The next to the last lap before the race was over. So everything is under stress. So you have to go through. It takes a lot of time to check everything, make sure the suspension is in good shape. Brakes, of course, are critical.
As we heard from the public address, this is Billy Fink in the 819 from Wilkes-Barre Township, and that's the other thing, especially when we talk about Giants Despair and Weatherly, how they almost commingle where they'll race at both events.
Right. Yeah, these drivers, most of them drive all the hill climbs. We don't have as many as we used to, but it's a series. We actually have a championship in every class. And of course, at every event, we have the fastest time of the day, or I should say weekend. So you have a number of drivers here that have accomplished that. I'll try to point them out when they come up to the line. George Bolin is here. He drives car 11. He built that car, but he holds records all over the United States, even the West Coast. He's run hill climbs. I don't know if he ever ran Pikes Peak. I'm not sure about that one, but.
And you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I believe George still has the course record here. I believe so.
Can I have the program there? I can tell you real quick. Let me look it up. Could be. I mean, that car.
For the longest time, I believe he did.
It was a snowmobile engine in that car, but very light. He, of course, is a great driver. He also was the SCCA solo champion many years. That's where they run through the cones.
You know, it's amazing. No Mustang so far this year.
I remember that was the one you were always looking for.
I'm always looking for that Mustang, but
Course record, George Bolin in 47.592, and he did that in 2012, so that's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
47.592.
wow. And that's the fastest time on this course?
Yes.
47? Yeah.
Here's my H4, that's my son Garth. He has the best time of 62.791. That's a quick time for a 1.3 liter car. Yeah, if you think about it, the course is a mile long. You do it in 60 seconds. That means you're averaging 60 miles an hour.
I was just going to ask that.
So, you know, what's amazing at Giant, the record's in the 30s, and that's a mile long. They're going well over 100 miles an hour on that course. They're really moving.
And this is not an easy course to go 60 miles an hour on.
No.
Yeah.
So, Tom, a question for you, as Chris is getting real excited, so we'll get to that in a hurry, but take us into the car with the drivers. We've talked about a couple of timing issues caused the delay. So those that have been waiting by pit row, ready to come up here, what's going through a driver's head?
Well, you usually try to think about the course, but boy, when you're sitting there for a while, thank goodness it's not hot today. But, you know, you've got that driver's suit on, which is like wearing a winter coat and pants, the helmet. If you have facial hair, you have to wear a head sock, which gets very hot. But it is frustrating when you have to sit for a long period of time. And the seats, racing seats, aren't the most comfortable in the world. I mean, in my cars, I didn't even have any padding at all. I was sitting on the floor.
All right, now we got to let Chris sit and admire. We've got a Mustang.
79 Mustang, yes. It's about time. In deference to our friends from Fairway. Oh, wow.
Should mention the Race the Open Road 2024 series schedule. Back in May, there was an event at Jefferson Circuit, then here in Weatherly, then Pagoda in a couple weeks. Giants Despair will be July 13th and 14th. Polish Mountain in Maryland, first weekend of August.
That's canceled.
Oh, canceled. I apologize. Duryea in mid-August. Shenandoah Circuit in West Virginia, and then back here in Weatherly, September 14th and 15th. And I guess this is sort of the reunion, the awards banquet, November 9th that they have listed.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they have that in Holiday Inn near Hershey. So, but we have a lot of folks who live in the Pittsburgh area, and that's quite a drive, as I'm sure you all know, to drive from there all the way out here. Yeah, Polish Mountain is no more. Unfortunately, it was run by people like me who are getting older and had enough of it. And
You're
just
getting not older,
enough young people.
wiser.
But if you have an interest, if you contact Joe Seibert, that's Cyburt in Weatherly. If you're interested in becoming a member, getting involved, we can use all the help we can get.
That's really a good point. I mean, these guys and gals, and they put a tremendous amount of their own personal time. They're away from their families to put on an event like this for the benefit of the community. So
a lot of work.
Yeah, those are good words, Tom. Really are.
We got a 74 Fiat here, but another one of those speedsters is going to be coming up next. And I would think even away from the car, there's got to be a ton of time and research that has to be done to develop a car like we're going to see here.
Time and research for what?
Time and research to come up with a car like we're going to see here.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I think that car is built in England. It's not an American car. And they promoted these cars at this event a number of years ago here in a Giant.
Are they kit cars, Tom? They're not kit cars, are they?
No.
No.
They sell, that car is sold as is. Yeah, there is a lot of paperwork. I ran a number of events for many years. You got to apply to SCCA for the insurance. They have $10 million worth of liability insurance, which is required where you have spectators. You got to contact PennDOT with a whole lot of paperwork and maps to close the road, because this is not a Pennsylvania highway right now. Mm-hmm. It's totally closed to the public. And it's just a lot of work. And thank goodness we have a lot of people that help. Because if one person tried to do it all, you'd end up in the funny farm after a while. Which some people say is where I belong anyway.
There are plenty of viewers that say the same here, Tom, so don't worry about it.
Once again, if you're watching on PTN, the Pocono Television Network, we'd like to welcome you. Whether you're watching us on numerous cable systems, streaming, or on WDPN 2.8 Wilmington, Philadelphia, you are in fact watching the Pocono Television Network, and this is the Weatherly Hill Climb from the Pocono Mountains, Carbon County.
And for those fans that watching on PTN are saying, boy, that voice sounds familiar, it is the very same Chris Barrett, President and CEO, program host, what else? Talent for commercials? Anything I'm missing?
It's a lot of fun. We live in such a great area. It's such an honor to represent it. It really is.
And I gotta say, Chris, in all honesty, without being behind closed doors, it seems like the team you've put together is the same whether you're on air or off air. And I think that's quite an accomplishment for your group. And I'm sure as highly as I speak of our production crew, your production crew, you must speak highly of. What is probably one of the most challenging shoots you've ever taken them on? I mean, I know you've been on ski resorts, trails, whitewater rafting.
Whitewater rafting and skiing, I mean, they're fun.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. But we did a live shot, because we have a live unit. So we did a live shot from the Lehigh. And the water was a little high. So it was a lot of fun, but we almost lost a couple of cameras that day.
And I think you've done it before. And again, I never brought this up to you before we started, since we're on live TV. Are you going to do a live shot up at Pocono race weekend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, two things that's kind of interesting about that is that the CW network now has it'll be doing a lot with NASCAR moving forward. in their local market. So if you have a CW station that is close to a raceway, they'll be covering a lot of events as a local station.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really good it's great for racing. It's great for CW. So we'll be involved probably in that as we go forward. But we always do live shots before the race because whoever has the agreement to cover it, they cover it live. But we go live before the race and then promote wherever it's going to be, who's ever going to broadcast it. But yeah, we do go live like at least all 3 days. So that's a great thing to do too. We love doing that.
So we'll freely promote that here. If Chris has mentioned different ways you can get PTN, so keep an eye on that as race weekend approaches in about a month from now, I guess July 12th to the 14th.
Yeah, that's crazy, but it's before you know it, it'll be here.
So definitely stay tuned to Chris and his team's coverage of all the events leading up to the Pocono weekend, and then they'll have live shots there, so definitely tune into PTN for that as we get close to race weekend.
And please go on the Raceway website too. I know there are good tickets left for all three races, I believe, on that weekend. So definitely check that out, PoconoRaceway.com, or go on our website at PoconoMountains.com.
And I'm sure you have a link to link them up with the Raceway website, right?
We do. Yeah, we do.
I'm sure they still have tickets available for that event, right?
They do. Yeah, and we're actually sponsoring the Xfinity race, so it's the Pocono Mountains 225.
Oh, okay.
So that's a great race, too.
Back down here at the starting line. As a reminder, the Weatherly Hill Climb brought to you by Fairway Subaru in conjunction with the aforementioned Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau and PTN. We thank you for joining us live here on WYLN or PTN, the Pocono Television Network. And Chris has done a great job throughout, also welcoming other viewers.
I have to say welcome to everybody from WYLN 35. I'm originally from Hazleton, so this is kind of a great joy to be able to be on this as well.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, Chris, but a couple of Hafey grads here on the broadcast. So
Hafey 80.
I'm not sure, but this may be just the second run that these people have had. The timing issues here have really slowed things down.
Yeah, they did. There was a lot of downtime there.
And I'm guessing that was the reason that we took the early lunch as well.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
So, and we talked about how you had to sit and wait. Also talk about that you haven't had a lot of runs to this point, that when you make a run, you're not getting impatient. You're not getting impatient and maybe take a extra chance.
I mean, we come to run, and the more runs we get, the better. You know, I'm more interested in running than I am in getting a trophy. You get to a point where you've got so many trophies. I got a whole bunch of them up in the attic. I don't have any room. But I always enjoyed running the events. And, of course, the camaraderie between the drivers is a huge part of everything.
That's the great thing when you visit here, I think, right? So you could walk right down, I'll say, pit row. You can talk to the drivers, their families are there, their pit crews.
Yep.
That's awesome. And they want to talk about their cars.
Yeah, and the kids really enjoy it. Again, it's free. I remember one year at Giant, after we were done, this little kid walked up to my car. He was filthy dirty. He must have been playing in the dirt all day long. So he wanted to sit in my car, and I said, sure. And the mother said, no, you're too dirty. And I responded, I said, lady, this is a race car. It's not a limousine. And kids love that. And, of course, you sign autographs for them, and they enjoy that.
It's interesting.
But,
it's right when you're saying we have a little boy in front of us here.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fascinating.
That kid does not belong there.
You can tell the interest is there. He's got the monster truck on his T-shirt.
Right.
Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
He really should not be there.
35I.
Oh, well.
But if you've never been here to Weatherly, as we're trying to describe the layout to you, drivers come up from the pit area, but all along the pit row are where the cars are lined up, and they're making the adjustments, so on and so forth. And as Kristen mentioned, you can walk up and down as long as they're not doing any serious repairs. The drivers...
Young man, you don't belong there. You have to be on this side. Now,
Number 148 is Via Newsy.
you can't not be there.
But we constantly want to remind you, you certainly can come down. Free admission, free parking, great food.
Free program.
And a great free program along with different items that you could purchase between T-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats. And different raffles going on as well. So a lot to do.
Number 65, John Siskovich of Bear Creek
And
Township.
in just talking since we came back this afternoon, just seems like this crowd continues to grow, Tom.
What was that?
The crowd seems like it continues to grow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of people work in the morning, and then they like to sleep in Saturday. So we get a lot of people later on in the day, and we go to 5 o'clock here. The road is technically closed till 6, so no cars are allowed, public cars, street cars, on this course.
Justin Reed in the 65,
Number 75,
brought to you by Fairways Subaru.
98 Plymouth Neon is next on the block on Weatherly Hill Plain.
Looks like they're running them through pretty well now.
Yeah, I don't think you will go to any racing venue with such a variety of cars as what you see at a hill climb. I mean, you got street cars, total race cars, formula cars. We've had trucks. Like I said, you can race your daily driver as long as it meets the safety standards. And that does cost a few bucks.
There's a lot of different cars there.
Number 168 is Hunter Huffman of Sarver, Pennsylvania. 1990 Honda Civic.
This, I believe, is Hunter Hoffman. He's from the Pittsburgh area. He's been hill climbing a long time. Really good driver. He turns in some great times for a car of that size, and the size of the engine is relatively small. Course is as important as the power are also the brakes. Really, they make a huge difference. And since this is on a hill, you have a natural brake that slows the car down.
Right.
Now this is a car I've never seen before.
That was the one I wanted to ask you about.
I'm not sure I know what it is. Well, it has a British flag on the back, so
Is that a V6? It looks like it's a V6.
it might be a Lotus. but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure the driver of this car is a native of Weatherly. Keith Gearhard.
Well,
No, maybe not. 86.
as we've heard so often, it might be because we've got the orange and the black, the colors of Weatherly High School.
Right. Oh, I didn't know they were the colors.
I believe our PA announcer said that that's why they like Halloween, because it's orange and black.
Yep, Weatherly had their hill climb, what, a couple days ago? They had 30 kids, is that true? Man, that really is small.
It's a great car.
Now this, I believe, is one of the newer cars participating.
I've never seen that car before.
Do you think that foil in the back does anything? I
What?
mean, airfoil?
I would doubt that would have much of an effect, because the key to these events is the turns. I mean, you get going really fast before turn one, but the effect of that is minimal.
Number 191 is John Robinson of Ferguson, Pennsylvania, the 2004 Corvette.
Of course, the purpose of those wings, it's based on Bernoulli's principle that you put a wing, it actually creates a lower pressure behind the car. That's the same thing that happens when you draft, which means you get two, on a road racing course, close together. You can actually go faster than your car normally goes if you get behind somebody. Mm-hmm. And also we have side drafting. If you get alongside of the car, you can actually go faster.
Okay.
But it's due to the low pressure center. Have you noticed that the Indianapolis 500, they come out of the last turn towards the straight and they go all the way to the other side? Mm-hmm. Why do they do that? I think it has to do with the wall there. That wall, because of the aerodynamics, actually slows the car down.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
They didn't used to do that years ago, but the aerodynamics is a huge part of racing today. The guy who developed the wing is a guy by the name of Jim Hall. This is back in the 60s. He had the Chaparral. He also put a huge fan on the bottom of the car to pull the car down, but it was disallowed because what was happening, the cars behind him, that thing was picking up stones, and it was like driving behind a machine gun.
Oh, wow.
The stones were hitting the drivers behind him.
Oh, wow. That's a nice thing about being at Pocono if you get a pit pass. And you can see those NASCAR guys like inspecting the vehicles. And if they do something, those NASCAR guys, they're right there. No matter what's happening. You know, like if they pick up a tool, they're right there.
Yeah.
You know, all the time. That's kind of neat to see.
Well, the way you're supposed to do, you're supposed to be right behind the car, but of course some of these NASCAR guys aren't right behind it, and they bump draft, and that's what causes a lot of those incidents.
Number 881, Emily Oswald of Hazleton in a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Now this, I believe, is a young lady. Another thing I should mention, we do have a lot of women involved.
Yes.
That is always great to see. I'm a big supporter of anybody. I don't care who they are, race, color, creed.
That was Emily Oswald from Hazleton.
Another Corvette on the blocks now.
That's a great brand for a jewelry store. Golden Carat.
Yeah. And I think we touched on that this morning. That's another hidden aspect where the time and effort you have to put in to find sponsors.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of people don't have sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, they pay for everything themselves.
Oops.
Now that's not the kind of start you want. But the timer did not go off, so that really probably didn't hurt him that much. Until you cross that scope.
So Tom, when he stalled, the clock was running, right? Because he came off the block, right?
Not until you hit that there's a beam going from that. You see that yellow scope over there to the right of the flag?
Right.
Along the road. That's
Yes.
the starting gate.
Okay.
Till you
okay.
cross that. And next we have car after this one, 880. That's Michelle Abel. They're from the Pittsburgh area. She is a really fast female driver. And her profession is she's a librarian.
Huh. That's right. Is that right?
But she's a charger, man. She really, and her husband, I call Mr. Excitement because he really puts on quite a show.
Yeah.
He's really a great driver.
But first, here's a real car, Ford Mustang. A real race car.
Michelle Abel of Irwin, Pennsylvania, in a BMW 135i.
So since she's a librarian, she probably spends all day reading like physics books.
Yeah.
You know, how to get like an extra.
This is a very fast car. I know they had to make repairs on it since the last event. You can spend a lot of time and money on these cars because there's always something going wrong. She'll get up there fast.
Really smooth off the line.
Okay, here comes George Boland. This is the guy I was talking about. He holds the record of many hill climbs, not just in Pennsylvania, but around the country. Great driver. He built that car himself. It's powered by a snowmobile engine, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
It's not a whole lot. It's a two-cycle, which means you have to burn oil with the gas, but it has a lot of torque, very, very light. And yeah, he's been hill climbing a long time. And he is a former, what they call Solo One champion, which is what they do one of the things they do in SCCA, you know, driving through the cones. Mm-hmm. He obviously has great car control. I never really liked running those events. I could never remember which way I was going, cones.
That's interesting how he routed the exhaust over the engine like that. How he routed the exhaust over the engine.
Yeah. Yeah, he built everything. This is a different car than what he had for many years. And but this is solely built for hill climbing. It's not meant for anything else.
Now I'm guessing he's going to start off the next heat.
Yeah, this is the next heat. Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to take a break.
Yes.
And we'll be back with George Boland to lead off the next heat. Wait for the next drivers from the previous heat to make their way back down the hill. You're watching live coverage of the 2024 spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb here on WYLN, also being seen on PTN, and the Weatherly Hill Climb, brought to you by Fairway Subaru. We'll be back right after this.
Can you hand me that red bag? Thank you very much.
Love is out there, and you can find it in a new Subaru from Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Because each Subaru model is crafted with love and precision and is engineered with legendary safety and longevity, you can count on Subaru for the long road ahead. It's that dedication to you that has earned awards from automotive experts and inspired loyalty from drivers just like you. If you haven't found love in the car you're driving, maybe it's time for you to discover what you've been missing. Visit us today at Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. The right car, the right price, the right dealer.
Thank you.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, many people are calling my office asking more and more about our laser. So why don't you tune in this week to see more about what's going on with the cold laser at our office.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Do you remember we told everybody about midweek deals?
Yes, but didn't everyone tell you? So what did we say?
Easy travel. Less traveling time, more fun time. Less people Monday through Friday. And all this at a great price. And easy to book.
Not bad.
I'm glad I thought of midweek deals. Our guests just love it.
We came up with midweek deals because we knew that your wallet needed a vacation too. Check out PoconoMountains.com/offers.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
I replaced the valve, but I didn't replace the piston. And the next weekend was giant, and I ran that, and I used to run up to 7,000, 8,000 RPM. Came home and changed it. What I didn't know, you see this crack here? I can actually pull that and make it bigger. That thing was cracked all the way up through there. It was amazing the thing didn't blow up. So it's a good paperweight. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go to the Pocono race or not. We went a couple of years ago. The problem is it can just be so hot, depending on the weather. And I'll tell you what you're going to eventually see. You're going to see NASCAR running in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the weather. You know, we used to get an inch of rain. Now we're getting 2-3 inches. I mean, the weather has substantially changed. So if they want to keep going, you know, they had so many delays, so many different tracks.
And I'm sure they do, but I'm sure a lot of tracks really don't want to come back out on Monday.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think NASCAR does either.
No, no. And I'll tell you what, with the right tires, you can go a lot faster than most people think. I started a race at Lime Rock. They had me in the wrong group. They had me with the Alfa Romeo engines twice the size of mine. So I started next to last, like almost 40 cars. It was pouring down rain. Oh. And all I did is put my foot in it. By the time I got to turn 1, I passed at least 15 cars. And these idiots, you know what the apex of a turn is?
Yeah.
Filled with water. They would drive through it. I drive around. I changed my line totally. By the time it was a shortened race because of thunder and lightning. But I think I got up to 5th. I might have been able to win because these guys didn't know how to run in the rain.
Julie, are we back?
Are we on? Well, if we're on, this is car 11, George Boland. He is from South Carolina. Great driver. He holds many records, at not just the hills in Pennsylvania, but around the country.
How's it going? Did you hear your birthday on the radio? No, I didn't. She called me. I told them to listen. Yeah, I keep my ears open. There's some reporters here. It's a trained ear. And somebody says, I did that to Dave up. They didn't even know that you told them. You're kidding. They go, no. And they said, I said, no, I heard it. He goes, wow, he goes, that's nice.
Are we on?
How you doing, buddy? We don't like the noise. John, back up here.
We welcome you back to the Weatherly Hill Climb. The aforementioned George Boland on his way up the hill.
From South Carolina, he holds many records, many hill climbs, not just in Pennsylvania, but around the country, even the West. Great driver, very fast car.
As we mentioned earlier, the course record here at Weatherly.
Yep, he has the course record.
And before we get too far along, I had to say goodbye to Chris Barrett during the break. He had to head out to another engagement. So I'm Marty Burns with Tom Knorr. We're going to finish up the rest of the day. But thank you to Chris for his contribution, not only here with us, but coordinating us to be on GTN.
It's Michael Kester from Larksville.
Oh, it's going to go.
Oh, boy.
That's 87.
We got to wait. Michael Kester now at the starting line. And how is it determined what class you get into?
Well, we have stock classes, which means that there's not much done to them. Then, depending on your modification, we have too many classes. We actually have 60 classes altogether. So we have a class here of sedans where we have, I think, maybe 10 cars.
Yeah.
But a lot of classes either have 1 car or 2 cars. But we have formula cars, and they're different classes depending on the engines. I think we have a Formula V here, which is powered by the old Volkswagen Beetle engine. And Mark Abel, he has a car. He'll come up here in a while, number 53. I'm not sure what's in there, but that's a very fast car. And the blue one over here, he's from North Carolina. I think that's a Mazda engine in it. So it's really based on the kind of car, the engine that's in the car, the weight of the car. Now this is 31.
Number 31 is Greg Hagan of Belton.
He's a new driver. I don't think he has ever been here before.
Greg Hagan, the driver of the 31.
And after him, we have Dave Cutchins, the 94. He is from North Carolina. So he had a bit of a hike to come up here. Dave is a very competent driver, a lot of experience. Yeah, 1971, I was running here and it looked like it was going to rain. So I decided I was going to, being young and stupid, I was going to really go all out. Well, I was going too fast through turn one, to say the least, and went off the road and hit a huge boulder, which is no longer there. I don't know when they removed it. But it actually bent the shock absorber by 2 inches. I didn't think I'd be able to fix it, but I live in the Slate Belt area in Penardville, and there was a guy there that straightened it out within a millimeter. But there was nothing in the car, no engine, so it was easy to access.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go off, that's for sure.
Number 99 is Bill Feist.
Bill Feist is associated with the Giants of Sparrow Hill Climb.
Yes.
I think he's president.
And they're holding Bill. Not sure if another timing issue. I think there may be an issue with one of the cars.
The course truck is going up, so there must be something going on. And the lady is the chief safety steward. They have a new name for them now, but any incident that happens, they have to write it up because it has to be sent into SCCA for insurance purposes. If you are injured, your primary insurance takes care of anything that has to be done. But beyond that, SCCA pays for anything. And if you don't have any insurance at all, they pay for everything.
Wow.
Yeah, they have $10 million worth of, that's what it was anyway, $10 million worth of liability insurance. So if you take out a telephone pole, that can be really quite expensive. Not millions, but so we're covered for just about any liability.
Well, for those viewers that weren't with us this morning, you mentioned Giants Despair, and once again, we want to send out the condolences to the Danko family on the passing of Jack Danko, who we got to know through the years from Giants Despair, and then he would always participate here with his sons and so on and so forth. And as you mentioned earlier, Mrs. Danko passing a couple of years ago as well. 2 instrumental forces in the
actually in
March.
Yeah. Just past March, yeah.
So we were very saddened to hear about that, and just want to pass on condolences to the Danko family. I'm sure he's one of those people that'll be irreplaceable.
Absolutely. I mean, him and his wife was another dear friend. She passed away, I think, about a year ago. And I used to call their office there to talk to Jack, and when she answered the phone, I would say, I need 1 million pounds of propane by tomorrow. She says, I'll get that for you. That's no problem. She had a great sense of humor. Great people, hardworking,
Absolutely.
very hardworking people, very organized. Yeah, it was a pleasure to work with him for all the years that we were involved with the Giants of Sparrow Hill Climb.
And they will definitely be missed, and we definitely send out our condolences. So while we're in a little bit of a break to see what is transpiring up on the course, We'll take a quick time out and be back with more from Weatherly right after this.
Now you've got the Poconos in the palm of your hand.
For places to stay and shop.
And stories about the Pocono Mountains.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com to download the app and get the information you need for your visit with us.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
What is great is new, epically new.
And big.
How big is it?
Big, big, big.
Epic from the start. You will be wowed, believe me.
Wined and dined or soda and dined. They can do both.
How about a villa for the family?
Whoa! Don't you just love it? It's epic!
The new Great Wolf Lodge in the Pocono Mountains. The latest epic addition to the water park capital of the world.
Go to PoconoMountains.com.
For all your roofing needs and for a free estimate, call Gerhard Roofing, 570-427-8407. Serving the greater Hazleton and Pocono areas since 1990. Gerhard Roofing in Weatherly. We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Back tomorrow, and the menu will be back tomorrow also. It won't be anything. It won't be out of anything.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to do that. That's the best I can do. All right. Nah, don't. No, don't.
What is your...
That's why I asked if you were in the car. Just check, see if we're on the air. We're on right now? All right. We welcome you back to the Weatherly Hill Climb, brought to you by Fairway Subaru in conjunction with the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. And you're able to watch us on PTN. Thanks all the folks watching through the Pocono Television Network. I'm Marty Burns, joined by Tom Knorr. And the Weatherly Hill Climb Spring Edition 2024 is also brought to you by Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly. I want to give them a call for all of your kitchen and ceramic countertop needs.
Well, I see that Al Carrazza is not here. He, of course, is the manager of Fairway Subaru. I think this is the first time he's missed this event.
He was a fixture for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Whenever Fairway was represented here at the Weatherly Hill Climb,
Yeah.
he was usually driving.
Yeah.
So definitely missed his Al. And we did see Dave Cutchins come down, so I'm guessing it wasn't his car that had the issue.
Probably the car ahead of him.
And I'm guessing generally if we don't see the car come down, they may have been able to get him back up to the top and then
Right.
they'll just return
Or
with
either
everybody
they
else.
left it up at the top if there's something wrong with it.
So as we return to action down at the starting line, waiting for Bill Feist to fire his car back up and continue this heat here from Weatherly.
Bill Feist, number 99, first off the blocks.
And as I remember, Bill, in the past, this is a fairly new entrant as far as car.
Yeah, he also raced a Mustang.
Yes.
Mustang, yes. Or it was a sedan, I don't remember.
Looks like we have Justin Reed here at the starting line in the 151.
Yeah, this is a new car. I've never seen this car before. It's a good start. A good start.
Number 23 is Jim Swift. That's a Formula race car.
And you see it in the bottom of our shot. Jim Swift has a low decal that says SCCA Hill Climb. Does that mean he's part of the association?
Right. As a matter of fact, this is an SCCA event. SCCA stands for Sports Car Club of America. They sanction all of the amateur road racing, hill climbs, autocrosses. And of course, when we use the word amateur, that means that only that you're not paid. It really has nothing to do with a skill level. We've got drivers that could good start.
27.
This gentleman is from the Bronx, New York.
Oh, wow.
The Bronx, New York.
Really a nice car, isn't it? It's really well decorated.
And I'm guessing maybe had it brought up from Florida. Looking at the back, looks like a Florida plate.
I don't know. Yeah, that is a Florida plate. But I know he lives in the Bronx.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely innovative color scheme, but definitely new. I don't remember seeing this car in recent events.
He's got some really pretty good sponsors, too. He has quite a substantial roll cage in that car. I mean, safety has changed so much from when I was a kid in the 50s and the 60s. You had guys racing without roll bars, just a seat belt, no harnesses, and guys would fly out of the car if they went upside down.
Oh.
It's a good start.
Number 92 is Eddie Fries, Menlo Park, New York. And his little speedster.
You mentioned earlier, Tom, it's amazing to see some cars. Talked about cars that are from the 70s, cars that are the newer cars, and just see how totally different the design is. And
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, we've got cars, like I said earlier, that's a 61 Jaguar. I'm just trying to think if there's a newer car than, oh, you have a Bug-Eye here. That's from 58 to 61. My wife has one of those. She never drives it. I'm the only one that drives it, but
Number 306.
yeah, we have any car, as I said, you could run it as long as it meets the safety standards. And we've got a guy, he's not here, from the Wilkes-Barre area who races a brand new Corvette. Now, you know how much a Corvette costs these days? A lot of money. But he puts a roll cage in it, or, yeah, I think it is a roll cage. And, of course, as soon as you do that, that voids your warranty on the car.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We have a bunch of racers from the Laurel Run Fire Department here today. This is one of them, Joe Tavallone.
Yeah, back in the 60s when I was a college student, I worked at the Hotel McGee in Bloomsburg, and I got to know this guy who was starting new distributorships for BMW.
okay.
And he would pay me $50 to test drive all the different cars. He'd come in and from the cheapest to the most expensive. And I test them on the highway, but also on the track.
Right.
To get an idea. And he would write down my feedback of what I thought of. I remember the one time I'm going down Route 11. Speed limit then was 50, and I look at the speedometer. It says 65. I said, my goodness. But the speedometer was in kilometers per hour, not miles per hour. But they only had a couple dealerships in the country. But after that, of course, they saw a lot of BMWs.
Yeah.
And, of course, BMW stands for Bavarian Motor Works. They built the first jet engine in the world during World War II.
Okay.
Yep. You'll notice that this next car, car 50, that's a right-hand drive car.
Yeah.
And it's easy on those cars. This is an Austin Healey Sprite to switch it from one to the other.
Okay.
It really isn't that difficult. But Joe Whiteley is driving this car. Excuse me. He's been racing a long time. Very good driver, very fast car.
Now, Tom, this may sound like a crazy question, but what is the advantage or disadvantage from being on the right side to the left side?
I don't really think there is a difference. Of course, the reason why it's there is because in England they drive on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah.
We're the ones that drive on the right side. But no, that's really I don't know if there's any real advantage.
Okay.
The thing that makes it different, instead of shifting with your right hand, you're shifting with the left hand.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is really where I'd have a little problem with that. It'd take me a while to learn how to do that.
Number 6, John Hartnett of Jenkintown in 1970, Caldwell.
John Hartnett here at the starting line, and as I remember, Tom, I think he's had different entrants throughout the years as far as cars go.
What was that again?
John Hartnett.
Oh, yeah, he's been around for a long time. Yeah, for at least maybe 2 decades, something like that. And this is Brian Fritzler. He is a chemical engineer he lives at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
And he designed this car, engineered it, and built it. He's a very talented builder and, of course, a great driver. He's had many weekends where he's the fastest car of the weekend.
And if you can notice, I don't know if we could see it in our camera shot, but you see right there the mini camera that we talked about earlier.
Right.
He probably comes back and analyzes what may have been different from his previous run.
Yeah, at the Giant, you were probably there a number of years ago. I had an in-car video on one of those, well, I don't know what they call them, and I gave it to you so you were able to.
And as I remember, I think we did run it that one year.
Chris Reed of South Park at 99.
Now this car is driven by 2 different people.
I believe I heard from the PA.
Chris
Reed.
Reed. Yeah, she is greatly involved in the Special Olympics. Really, she's been doing that for years, not just in the summer events, but I know the winter events, including skiing, which is a wonderful thing for those kids.
Absolutely. I'm sure they get a great thrill of seeing the car as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was able to get a grant many years ago, and have you ever heard of the Pocono Environmental Education Center? In Dingman's Ferry. I took these, they call them special needs kids, about 14 of them. I tell you, they absolutely loved it. And they did an excellent job in all the skill areas. But it's great that they have these opportunities for these kids. A lot of these kids were never out of their local town, which is really too bad. Yeah, that's Chrissy, because that's her husband, or Gibby. Yeah, they live in the Pittsburgh area.
They're another set that you see year after year, no matter what the event, you always see them participating.
Yep.
I'm guessing we must have had another issue.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's timing or more mechanical with a particular vehicle.
Yeah, they helped me out a couple times. I ran the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, which runs through the streets. Have you ever heard of that event?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like 150,000 spectators there
Wow.
for that event. And, yeah, they live very close to where that is. Most of it's in Shenley Park. But it's like running a hill climb, except it goes all the way around. Again, you don't want to go off because you're in the trees,
Yeah.
rock walls, poles. Oh boy, this is gonna. That's your full-time job, is to hold that down. The wind is playing havoc with our canopy. Boy,
Well, looks like we're going to resume racing. Chris Reed, you're watching live coverage from Weatherly, the Weatherly Hill Climb 2024 Spring Edition, brought to you by Fairway Subaru in conjunction with Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau.
Number 97 is Leon Jordan.
Welcome those watching us on PTN.
Global cross cart.
Weatherly Hill Climb also brought to you by Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly. Give them a call for your kitchen and ceramic countertop needs.
Okay, here's 21 again with Brian Fritzler. He's getting a rerun. I don't know whether it was an issue with the timing system or what, but he gets another chance.
Or if something happened near the top, it could have been like you talked earlier where they might have flagged them down and had them come back down.
Yeah, they running again here tomorrow, but they started a little earlier. It'll start at 9 o'clock. So, everything is free. Bring your kids.
We'd be remiss if we did not remind you of that fact that free admission, free parking, great food.
Number 344 is Michael Hunter of 44th. And it's In Excess Legend. That's supposed to be a 1937 Ford Rep.
And as we've talked about earlier, best time of the weekend is your official time. So drivers can have an option of trying to improve tomorrow on what they've done today. Or tomorrow.
I don't know for sure, but that might be Brian Halicki. Do you know him? He's affiliated with Giants of Spur Hill Climbing.
25 is Ryan Herbert of Pittston and his 85 Chevy Camaro.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm incorrect.
Well, we were going by the assumption of the black and orange.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people holding their ears.
Yeah. Even though you're wearing a helmet, and they're pretty well insulated. I'll tell you, racing a car, it can be rather noisy.
Yeah.
Most of these cars do not have any mufflers. And, you know, if you're sitting behind one of these cars, it can be quite deafening to say the least.
And quite possibly another issue.
No, I don't know.
Looks like 344 returning to the pit area.
Ready to go with 225. I believe it's the Camaro.
Number 245 is Kyle Graham of Hudson, Pennsylvania, in his vintage 1968 Chevy Camaro.
Close-up look at the 245.
Yeah, at all courses, you look for a point to turn in. On this particular course, there's a mailbox.
Okay.
Before turn one, that was my turn-in point. I
Okay.
always look for something that I could be consistent after I established where the best place was. All right, this
And
is
if they ever took the mailbox down, you'd be in trouble.
That's right. I'd probably end up in the woods. This is 69, driven by Glenn Hoffman. He's from the Pittsburgh area. He's been racing this particular car for a long time. Yeah, these cars that are lined up now are really like a glorified go-kart.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not a whole lot bigger, except the engines are probably bigger. The tires have changed an awful lot over the years. We now have what they call slicks, and they wear out fast, and they produce marbles, which are these little balls of rubber. And you'll hear about this at NASCAR races. You don't want to get into those because it's like going on ice. But as the weekend progresses, even on a hill climb, these marbles will accumulate in certain areas. Yeah, in the 60s and 70s, the tires that we had, Blue Streaks, Goodyear Blue Streaks, and Iran Firestone Indy, we really slid the cars a lot more, what they call drifting today.
Yeah.
We still drift the cars, but not to the same extent. Yeah, every time you turn the wheel, you're slowing down.
Okay.
You want to minimize the amount of turning that you do as much as possible.
Now, especially on these cars that we've seen, and I've seen them on a couple other different cars, is Hoosier fairly new as far as the tires?
Yeah. Well, is it new?
I was just asking, yeah, is it fairly new or
No.
as far as the style that they're using?
Hoosiers have been around for a long time, and I don't think they produce street tires, strictly racing tires. But they produce treaded, which of course are needed when it rains.
That was Chris Duplessis from Tampa, Florida.
And as I mentioned earlier, we run in both the rain and dry. And you can go a lot faster than people realize in the rain, a lot faster. Now we have the second car in line here is 53 Mark Abel. He's from the Pittsburgh area. This is the first time I've seen this car. I know from being online he's been working a lot on this car. Very fast car. I call him Mr. Excitement. He's fun to watch.
Number 54 was Barry Gilson, I'm sorry.
Batmobile.
And I believe we talked about her earlier,
yes.
Grace Hunsinger.
Grace Hunsinger, car 57. She's from New Jersey. She is the one that after we decided to go with a wireless system many years ago, her and another person actually got it to work. You know, buying it's one thing, but getting it to work is another. But they actually went to every one of our hill climbs, and we had more at that time, and figured out where they'd have to put the antennas to make it work. Previous to that, we used to have to run a wire. Here it's a mile. In Reading, it's 2.5 miles. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And 523, I'm not sure who that is, but you see the 3 stripes on there? That means he's a novice.
Okay.
Pretty easy to get a license. You can actually show up, again, if you meet the safety standards. You can apply for a novice license on the spot. You do need to have a driver's license. I'm not quite understand why, but I've never understood that. But it's easy. I mean, it's really easy to get a license. Then after you have a logbook after so many events, then you can get your, what we used to call a senior racing license. Whoop. Hey, Ray Cochin's up next from Weatherly, PA.
1980 Chevrolet modified orange 01. It's the General Lee reimagined.
You said you were a graduate of King's College?
Yes, sir.
I used to go there once a year for the Junior Academy of Science competition.
Okay,
yeah, great event for kids. Yeah, I always was impressed with that school. A lot of wheel spin, buddy. That was a pretty good start.
Number 463, Michael Froman.
Wow.
Swayersville.
And it's amazing watching all the fans that had their phones out videoing them all the way, getting his start.
I think it's a Mustang. It's a Mustang. Changed cars on me, I think.
Oh my goodness. That smoke is killing me. Oh. I have never seen a muffler that points out. That must be a 2-cycle, burning a lot of oil.
Yeah.
My goodness. Look at that smoke.
Number 1881, Jim Oswald, Hazelton, in a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Jim Oswald in the 1881.
Yeah, the next in line is a Formula V. That's the one I was talking about. They have the old Volkswagen Beetle engine in there. That 1600 or 1800 cc. You'll notice the tires are kind of skinny.
Yeah.
That is part of the rules. They can't put big tires and wheels on them. Oh, this is Dave Smith. He is from Carlisle, PA. He has a number of race cars. He has a Bug-Eye, which is an Austin Healey Sprite. He's been running for a long time. A good friend. Yeah, my driving suit is exactly like his. Same color, same make. Let you know how old you are.
Never, Tom, never.
Number 78 is Ted Klaus Jr. of Marysville near Harrisburg.
Yeah, Ted Clausen is 78. He's from Ohio, so he has a bit of a drive to get here. His father, I believe, raced this same car for many, many years. Yeah, they were working on this for hours last night trying to get it to work. They couldn't get gas to the carburetors. we must be done with Group 2, so we'll wait for Group 1 to come to the line.
And before that, wait for Group 2 to return down to the pit area. So we've got a little bit of time, and I want to remind you about Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly. If you have needs for kitchen and ceramic countertops, they're the place to go. Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly. You're watching the spring edition of the 2024 Weatherly Hill Climb here on WYLN as well as on PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Thank everybody watching us from there. And as always, Weatherly Hill Climb here on WYLN is brought to you by Fairway Subaru. We're going to take a short time out, be back with Group 1 right after this.
Love is out there, and you can find it in a new Subaru from Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Because each Subaru model is crafted with love and precision and is engineered with legendary safety and longevity, you can count on Subaru for the long road ahead. It's that dedication to you that has earned awards from automotive experts and inspired loyalty from drivers just like you. If you haven't found love in the car you're driving, maybe it's time for you to discover what you've been missing. Visit us today at Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. The right car, the right price, the right dealer.
Do you remember we told everybody about midweek deals?
Yes, but didn't everyone tell you? So what did we say?
Easy travel. Less traveling time, more fun time. Less people Monday through Friday. And all this at a great price. And easy to book.
Not bad.
I'm glad I thought of midweek deals. Our guests just love it.
We came up with midweek deals because we knew that your wallet needed a vacation too. Check out PoconoMountains.com/offers.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, many people are calling my office asking more and more about our laser. So why don't you tune in this week to see more about what's going on with the cold laser at our office.
timing for years, unfortunately passed away. Case.
Yes. He helped us.
He was a little bit on the normal side. He was an expert at this stuff. And they never realized how good he was until he passed away.
We welcome you back to the Weatherly Hill Climb Spring Edition 2024. Brought to you by Fairway Subaru, watching it here live on WYLN, as well as the fine folks watching us on PTN, the Pocono Television Network, in conjunction with Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. I'm Artie Burns, joined by Tom Knorr. We had Chris Barrett from the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau earlier on today. Go off to another engagement. So we thank Chris for all of his time and efforts this morning and this afternoon. So I want to remind you, got anywhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours remaining on this Saturday edition. The Weatherly Hill Climb will continue right back here in Weatherly tomorrow, beginning at 9 a.m. Free admission, free parking, great food. The great food vendors.
Free program.
And free program. I keep forgetting about that. Thank you that you're here, Tom. But under the brand new pavilion, well, fairly new. I've been up a couple of years now, where you could find some of the great food put out by a lot of the great organizations in Weatherly, whether it be from Boy Scout groups to high school senior classes to the community library or Methodist Church. And I'm sure I probably missed somebody else, but great food, and they'll all be back tomorrow. And where you can get that free program, you can also get T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, put together by the Weatherly Hill Climb Association. And we should remind you that also the spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb here on WYLN is brought to you by Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly. You have needs for kitchen and ceramic countertops, check in with Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly.
Yes, car 85, which is the second in line here, is an Austin Healey Sprite, better known as a Bug Eye. My wife has one of those, and I'm the only one that drives it, but it's a fun car to go out on the back roads. And what's unique about it, it has a trunk, but there's no trunk lid.
Oh, okay.
So it's very difficult to get stuff out of the back. It also has no door handles, no wind-up windows. They have these plastic side curtains that you put on it. It does have a top, but I rarely ever use that. So I don't know what the holdup is here.
I was pretty sure everybody came down, but maybe somebody is still up at the top. As we talked about earlier, maybe not the best day for the drivers as far as timing and results and that, but you couldn't ask for a better day here in Weatherly.
Well, you know, one of the things that you have to realize is that there are trees on this hill. So you'll go from part of the road that's sunny, that's getting the sun, to shade. And, of course, that changes the adhesion of the tires. So the other part of it is you notice at a NASCAR race or a road race, the cars are weaving back and forth. That's designed to warm the tires up.
Okay.
Well, people think it's to clean the tires. It's to warm them up. When you come to the line here, your tires are cold. So you're not going to have the grip that you would have if you had an opportunity to get the tires warm. So not only do you have that, but like I said, you have the shade and parts of the track that are in the sun. And if it does rain, that again, the places that are in the sun, that part of the track will dry rather quickly, but the other part is still wet.
And I guess the other thing that you really don't think about as you go through the day, if it stays a sunny day, eventually the sun's going to come into your eyes, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. That would not be well, I've never experienced that here, but there are some courses where that is definitely an issue.
And we talked about this morning, see one of the event workers on the walkie-talkie, and here is one car coming back down, so they might have been waiting for this one to return. But there's checkpoints throughout the course, and they'll let you know when clear or whatever, but
right.
Probably started at the top where they said that the first car hadn't made its way back down.
Yeah, it must have been a timing issue because I don't see any damage to that car.
But it does sound like we're going to get ready with Group 1 to take another run.
Well, they have over 80 cars here, so they'll run Group 1 and hopefully get through Group 2. But if necessary, they can start with Group 2 tomorrow. Yeah, this is the bug eye that I was talking about. Made between 1958 and 1961. It's a 4-speed, and the first gear is non-synchro. So in other words, you can't shift into first gear without coming to a complete stop. You can, but you got to know how to do it the right way. Right. He had a good start. And here is a very popular car in all forms of racing, the Mazda Miata.
What makes it so popular? Is there a particular reason?
Well, they're similar to an MGB. I mean, it's really the only sports car that I can think of in numbers that's made in, well, it's actually made in Japan, but I think they make these in this country. Most foreign cars are made in this country. Owned by a foreign country, but
right.
As a matter of fact, I don't know if Fiat still owns Chrysler, but for many years Fiat owned Chrysler. I don't know if that's still true, but it handles well. It's like the old British sports cars.
Okay.
They perform well. Yeah, the last race that my son Garth ran at Watkins Glen, it was raining hard, and he led from start to finish, but a Mazda Miata, bigger engine, caught up to him, but he still beat him by, I think, like 0.08 of a second. When he crossed the finish line, the other guy was right next to him. But like I said previously, racing in the rain is something you have to experience. You know, it's not. You're never going to learn it if you learn how to do it if you don't race under those conditions. Excuse me. These cars are killing me.
Volkswagen. He's one of a contingent from the Laurel Run Fire Department here racing today. Welcome to the Weatherly Hill Climb, gentlemen.
Joe Delaney in the 1554. Seen a few of those cars from the Wilkes-Barre area with the Danko sticker on it.
Yes. Of course, the Dankos own a number of old Indy cars that they've raced for years, and it's my understanding they have them all. They never did get rid of any of them.
I don't know if it was the last one that Jack Sr. ran, but I always liked his with the big British flag on the front.
Yep. Red, white, and blue. Yeah, he ran Giant last year. I remember that. And he ran here, too, both times. Yeah, unfortunate death, that's for sure.
Number 531, Ed Grega Jr. of Weatherly in his Pontiac Trans Am.
Yeah, this is Ed Grega. He's from Weatherly. He's been running this for years.
Biggest surprise is he doesn't have any orange or black.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what's the matter with him. Disloyal to the local school. Well, I don't know if you follow baseball, but boy, the Phillies are on fire this year.
They are on fire.
They're in London, I guess, today.
Today and tomorrow.
And tomorrow. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think they have a great manager.
Absolutely.
His philosophy, the most important part of the game are the players, you know, taking care of the players. They get along really well, which is so important. They have some guys that don't have great batting averages, but boy, in the clutch, they just seem to one day it's one guy, the other day it's another guy.
That's probably the beauty of it, is it's just not one guy.
That's right.
And the other thing that doesn't hurt is they've been getting great pitching.
Yeah, their pitchers have been really good.
99 Monster Miata.
George Whitman in the 103.
He's one of our technical inspectors. Sorry. Takes a lot of people to get one of these events to go. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, that one pitcher supposedly has a good knuckle curve. That doesn't make any sense to me because a knuckleball doesn't spin very much. But to throw a curveball, you gotta have.
Oh yeah.
I don't quite get that one.
Talked about Sue earlier on, getting ready to go up another time in her 38.
61 Jaguar. Very heavy car. That's a good start.
Number B4 is Gibby Mosevich of South Park in a 99 Chevrolet Camaro.
We talked about Chris earlier on, and now Gibby gets the run with the vehicle. And I think you got to give credit to the Weatherly Hill Climb Association, because we talk about a lot of these drivers that we've seen year after year after year. You must be doing something right that they want to come back.
Right. Well, they want to have runs. They want to get as many runs as they can. And, you know, they got great facilities here. A large pit area. They've expanded it, so we have a lot more what do you call those big buses? Campers. As I said, back in the 60s, none of that was here, but
Right.
you would see very few trailers. I don't remember any closed trailers. A lot of the drivers either drove there or they flat towed, which I'm not sure that's even legal anymore. We had a tow bar. That's how I got my car there. But if you wreck the car, then you're going to jam. That happened to me here. I had to have a friend come over from Bloomsburg to trailer my car home. But now you have these large trailers and people with these bus-size
Right.
campers, but we can accommodate them here.
Number 003 is Jody Miller of Weatherly in a Honda Civic.
All these cars you're seeing now are all in part of what they call Group 1. Most of the sedans are in this group, including plus the vintage and historic cars. Group 2 are your Formula cars and what they call the ground pounders. Well, here's a ground pounder, but it's probably fairly stock.
Now, when they put the groups together, do they mix and match just to even the numbers up?
Well, they try to even the numbers up, but also typically Group 2 is a bit faster. In other words, the cars that, because, all right, the car just went up the hill, you don't want this car catching that car.
Right.
So you can't have a Mini like this in front of like an old Indy car that really goes fast. So it makes it easier to manage, when you send the cars at the start line.
Number 188, David Bahosky of Marksville in his 2003 Mini Cooper. We have a few of those Mini Coopers in the race today.
Mini Cooper entrant from Larksville, Dave Baharski in the 188.
Car 45, I don't think I've ever seen that car here before. It's a Volkswagen.
Remind you about Broad Mountain Stone and Weatherly. You need kitchen or ceramic countertops, they're the place to go. Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly.
Is Keith Gerhardt of Fork River, New Jersey in a Mazda Miata.
I believe we got Keith here and on the roof. Is that another camera maybe?
Oh, yes. Yes, there's the camera. Yeah, I'll tell you, they've come down in price significantly. I have something called P-Gear. You plug it into your, well, they don't have cigarette lighters anymore, but I put one in, and every track in the world is on that thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so when we run at Watkins Glen, it'll show you where you are, how fast you're going, what the G-forces are. It's just unbelievable, the kind of data that you can collect. However, I don't think any of the hill climbs are on there, not the mine
Number 75, Donald D. Harden, Atwood, Pennsylvania. 1998 Plymouth Dion.
Yeah, this is car 75. It's Donald D. Hart. He's from the Lancaster area. He's been running for a long time. His wife used to run a lot of these events, but she unfortunately passed away quite a few years ago.
David Bell, we have your driver's license here. You lost it. Come up to the announcer's table and we'll give it back to you. David Bell. Up next, number 65, Bob Siskovich of Bear Creek Township in his 1995 Pontiac Trans Am.
Bob Siskovich from Bear Creek. And is that something you start to see? I know you had talked about a lot of people coming from the Pittsburgh area.
Right.
Now we're starting to see a lot from the Wilkes-Barre area.
Right.
Is it that as hill climbs start to get established in those areas, that's where you start to see more and more participants?
Well, I think what happens, you have a friend who does this kind of stuff. They learn about it, and it just, passes from one person to the next. But in the Pittsburgh area, one of the things they have a very active autocrossing organization. And I know a lot of the folks from that area got involved initially running those autocrosses. But, you have the giant Wilkes-Barre, so people learn about it through social media, through TV coverage, and the same thing is true here.
What a great shot there. Seeing how beautiful this Saturday is in Weatherly. But as Tom was mentioning earlier, got a great shot there of going in and out of sunlight because of the shadows from the trees.
This is 168, Hunter Hoffman. Again, another one from the Pittsburgh area. Very fast driver. He turns in great times considering the power, or the lack of, I should say. What kind of car is that? Uh-oh. Well, most of these cars, of course, are standard shift. Most people today probably can't drive them, but they have clutches. You have to apply the gas and release the clutch in concert so the car goes forward. If you don't, it stops.
Number 666 is Mike Radovich of Freeland. He is driving a Subaru STI.
Well, it's interesting to look at these trees in the pit area that have really grown a lot since they were initially planted. So that's Rich Rock. He's the president of PHA.
Okay.
Yeah, he took over after I stepped down. He's doing a great job.
And I'm guessing that not only are you concentrating on the road and such, but you also got to be aware that there could be somebody at a turn that could pop out with the red flag. So
Right. Yep, you always have to look for the flags. No matter what kind of racing you're doing. I remember at one of the tracks that I was at, the official was complaining that people weren't watching the flags. On a road racing course, that's very important. And the one driver said, "I'm too busy racing to look for flags." You know what I would have told him? Go home.
That's
and
it.
Don't come back.
That's it.
Again, the flags are a safety device, they're so that what the workers and the officials that's how they communicate with the drivers.
Right.
When they throw a red flag, that means you come to a stop, controlled stop.
Right.
I had a guy once, they threw the red flag, and he had much better brakes than I did. He jammed on those brakes. I almost rear-ended it. And again, I started braking the same time he did. But you bring the car to a controlled stop.
Got Emily Oswald in the 881.
Emily Oswald. She is probably maybe the third or fourth generation I think the third generation of people running hill climbs. Originally from the Reading area. I think she lives now maybe in Hazleton.
I did believe the PA announcer said she was from Hazleton.
Yeah.
And we may have another issue.
I don't know what the holdup is here. Oh, man.
We do want to remind you that the Weatherly Hill Climb Spring Edition will continue tomorrow, beginning at 9 a.m. Free admission, free parking, great food. I know a couple of the food stands were offering breakfast items till about 11 or 12 and then got ready for some of the lunch items. So if you're worried about having a pizza that early in the morning, there will be some stands that will offer you some breakfast items. So
Excellent food.
Definitely something you want to check out.
Well, he's going to take another run, so maybe another timing issue.
Or sometimes if he was red flagged, they let him come back.
Right. Oh, here goes the course truck, so there's something wrong up there.
With the course truck going up, hopefully not a significant issue. I also wonder they may be taking some extra workers to go up, and seeing the broom isn't a great sign either.
No.
So with that being the case, we may be in a little bit of a delay here in group number one as whatever issue happened up throughout the course. So let's take a quick time out. You're watching the spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb 2024, brought to you by Fairway Subaru and in conjunction with the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau, watching on PTN, the Pocono Television Network.
That's all I remember.
Thank you.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Do you remember we told everybody about midweek deals?
Yes, but didn't everyone tell you? So what did we say?
Easy travel. Less traveling time, more fun time. Less people Monday through Friday. And all this at a great price. And easy to book.
Not bad.
I'm glad I thought of midweek deals. Our guests just love it.
We came up with midweek deals because we knew that your wallet needed a vacation too. Check out PoconoMountains.com/offers.
For all your roofing needs and for a free estimate, call Gerhard Roofing, 570-427-8407. Serving the greater Hazleton and Pocono areas since 1990. Gerhard Roofing in Weatherly. We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
Violin brought to you by Fairway Subaru. I'm Marty Burns, joined by Tom Knorr. We had Chris Barrett from the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau earlier on today. Currently on what we believe to be some type of maintenance break as the courtesy truck from Fairway Subaru went up to the top of the course. One of the workers had a broom, so that's usually not a great sign of some debris on the track that had to be helped to be cleaned up. So we're waiting for that truck to return so we can continue with group number 1. Should remind you that Weatherly Hill Climb is brought to you by Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly. For your kitchen and ceramic countertop needs, seek out Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly.
Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same bat channel. And reminding you that the fall event of the Weatherly Hill Climb will be September 14th and 15th right here. We have one in the spring.
Great reminder being made by the PA announcer that September 14th and 15th are the dates for the fall run of the Weatherly Hill Climb. And as our viewers know, we won't be able to do that event due to the fact of our coverage of high school football, which will be here before you know it. But same deal, free parking, free admission, great food, great opportunity to help out some great organizations in the Weatherly area as they are their fundraisers, and great opportunity to get yourself some great food and help out a great cause with some of these organizations from here in Weatherly who are supporting the Weatherly Hill Climb. And also raising money for their organization as well. Right now, just a waiting game here at the starting. As we wait for the courtesy truck from Fairway Subaru to return and possibly have one of the vehicles that have gone up, or they may just get it to the top and bring it down later. And we are still waiting to see what may happen as the courtesy truck from Fairway Subaru, as I mentioned, went to the top of this hill climb course, somewhere in there, to
There's
assist
oil
another vehicle.
down. There's oil down. I was talking to the driver over here of 92. He's from Ireland.
Oh, wow.
So we were talking about the number of states represented here. He's from Ireland. I guess this is the first time he's ever run this event, and these cars are made in Spain. I knew that before, but I had forgotten. And we have at least, forget what they call them, they're glorified go-karts, but we have at least 6 of them here this weekend.
If I'm reading it correctly, I believe his says speed car, but a lot of the other ones have been saying global crosscut. I'm guessing that may be either the manufacturer name or...
Could be. As I had said earlier, it must be at least 5, 6, 7 years ago. They brought them here to introduce them to people in this country. They were trying to sell them.
The homecoming on July 6th over by the rescue squad on the corner of Laurel and Hill. The tickets will not be here tomorrow.
These tickets are $5, but you get a shot at 72 different prizes. 72. That's the Lehigh on Lausanne or L&L Fire Company. It's going to be July 6th. Tickets will
And
not
here
be
comes the courtesy.
Okay, the course truck is down. So that means we should be able to start.
We're inducting somebody into the Weatherly Hill of Fame.
Yeah, when we have an oil spill, they use what they call speedy dry. It's a lot like cat litter, but it's even better. It soaks up the oil really rapidly. And then you just sweep it away.
And then I'm guessing the car, they managed to get to the top. Or unless the car had managed to get to the top.
And they may just leave it up there. There's a limited amount of space. You can put a lot of cars up there, but there is a limit to how many, because they hold them up there, and of course they bring them all down at one time.
Now the courtesy shuttle is heading up from Fairway Subaru.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get showers here later on or not.
There were a couple times that it looked like it was threatening, but it seemed to hold off. And originally in the beginning of the week, they were saying that could have showers, but as the week went on, that seemed to change where basically the forecasters are saying mostly sunny day.
Yep. You have clouds that are getting close to what we call cumulonimbus clouds, which are your shower clouds, but they haven't really developed fully, so I'm sure it's going to be a cool night tonight.
Yes.
Here in Weatherly, at least. So Emily Oswald in car 81 is patiently waiting at the start line to go up the hill.
And the courtesy shuttle has returned.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get this moving again.
And it looks like we're going to restart with Emily.
So this car 92, I don't know what the name of this car is, but it's made in Spain. And the driver, I'm not sure what his name is, but he is from Ireland. I just talked to him. He said he really enjoys coming to the United States, which is good to hear.
Yeah, you see it right there on our shot. It says speed car.
Speed car.
But the next one behind it is Global Cross Kart. So almost makes you think two different manufacturers.
That might be. Boy, that car got up there awfully fast. Well, he is from Ireland, and in England they do have hill climbing over there. They have quite a few of them. But what you will see in England, especially in some of the road rallies, you'll see people standing right now at the edge of the road. And in fact, some people have lost fingers because they try to touch the car, and it actually gets caught on the mirror. But their legal system in Europe obviously is quite different because of the liability.
Right.
That would never be allowed here.
No.
I was telling you about tomorrow's induction of Mike Lewis into the Weatherly Hill of Fame, and it started in 2012. Well, we have a second. I'll give you some of the. The Weatherly Rotary Club was inducted the first year in 2012. Mannheim in his BMR.
Get a look at the 932, James Dommett.
You mentioned earlier about the SCCA stickers. That's actually required by the rules that be displayed.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure not all cars have it, but if you did see the movie Ford versus Ferrari, they mentioned SCCA quite a bit, especially at the beginning of the movie, where the inspector is trying to put a piece of luggage in the back of a Cobra. I can relate to that.
232 is Tim Lewis.
But during a race, the racers looking at each other is ridiculous. That would never happen.
Yeah. That's the Hollywood side of it.
Yeah, that's the. Hollywood or not, Ken Miles was one heck of a driver. He really was good. He pitted next to at Watkins Glen. We were up there, and I was helping a friend. I wasn't racing myself at that event, but yeah, he was just like an average, normal guy you'd run into. But boy, he could drive the wheels off of a car.
Chris Barrett had a chance to tune into PTN. He'll be happy to see that Mustang again.
Yeah, that's a nice Corvette. 228. I'm not sure who the driver is. Have you ever driven one of these new Mustangs?
I have not.
Boy, they are something else. They're totally different, you know, from what they made in the 50s and 60s. They were really more like regular cars.
Right.
They just look like a sports car, but these really handle. And they've got an awful lot of power.
Number 191 is Dana Robinson of Percy in a 2004 Chevy Corvette. It's actually Donna. I'm sorry, Donna Robinson.
Yeah, 191 is Donna Robinson. We have a number of female drivers here. She's been driving for quite a few years. Now, I know his last name is Yanuzzi, but I believe he's from Colorado. That's really a haul.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at the plate on the back. That certainly looks like Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, I like hill climbing, but I don't know if I drive from Colorado here just to run a hill climb. But you see he has the 3 stripes on there.
Yep.
Indicating that he is a novice. Yeah, it's important because a corner worker can see that the driver's a novice, and they may notice something that later they're done running for the day. They may communicate, give them an idea or a suggestion that might be helpful. Another novice. I would imagine this car is running racing fuel, which I mentioned earlier today, of course, has lead in it, which you can't use on the street cars anymore, but it's necessary because of the compression ratio that we run it. They are so high. But unfortunately, it's 15. Right now, the last place I was at, it was $15 a gallon. You can spend a couple $100 in a weekend just on gas. And the next car is 880, Michelle Obel.
Michelle Obel, Berwyn, Pennsylvania, a BMW 135i.
She's really a really good driver, very fast. She's married to Mark Obel, who is also very fast.
Next on the blocks, number 05, Steve Marsh of Hunlock Creek in the 2010 Subaru Justy.
Yeah, Steve is from the Wilkes-Barre area. Hunlock Creek, I believe it's called.
Yes.
And he's been a tech inspector for us for many, many years. I see his cars for sale. So if you're looking for a race car, try to touch base with Steve Marsh.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, Tom, Steve was in the next group. Was he in group 2, I believe?
Yeah, this is group 2.
Okay. So with that being said, group 1 is finishing. We'll wait for them to return, and then we'll get a look at group 2 one more time. We'll take a break. You're watching live coverage of the spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb 2024 here on WYLN as well as on PTN, the Pocono Television Network. And as always, the Weatherly Hill Climb here on WYLN brought to you by Fairway Subaru.
Love is out there, and you can find it in a new Subaru from Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. Because each Subaru model is crafted with love and precision and is engineered with legendary safety and longevity, you can count on Subaru for the long road ahead. It's that dedication to you that has earned awards from automotive experts and inspired loyalty from drivers just like you. If you haven't found love in the car you're driving, maybe it's time for you to discover what you've been missing. Visit us today at Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. The right car, the right price, the right dealer.
What is great is new, epically new.
And big.
How big is it?
Big, big, big.
Epic from the start. You will be wowed, believe me.
Wined and dined or soda and dined. They can do both.
How about a villa for the family?
Whoa, don't you just love it? It's epic.
The new Great Wolf Lodge in the Pocono Mountains. The latest epic addition to the water park capital of the world.
Go to PoconoMountains.com.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Now you've got the Poconos in the palm of your hand.
For places to stay and shop.
And stories about the Pocono Mountains.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com to download the app and get the information you need for your visit with us.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, many people are calling my office asking more and more about our laser. So why don't you tune in this week to see more about what's going on with the cold laser at our office.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
We welcome you back to Weatherly. We are here for the spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb. Brought to you by Fairway Subaru. You're watching it live here on WYLN as well as on PTN. It's part of the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. I also want to remind you about Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly for your kitchen and ceramic countertops. Got to get in touch with Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly.
Well, we're about ready to go with Group 2. And it would be my guess this will be the last group for the day. Hopefully we can complete this group. But this group contains a lot of the formula cars, special made cars. The drivers actually build and engineer by, on their own. And generally they're faster cars. They're modified a lot more. But it's been a great day, great weather. We had a lot of spectators here.
And don't forget, this goes on again tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Free admission, free parking, great food, free program. I finally got it by the end of the day, Tom. But as we mentioned, I know they were saying a lot of the food stands were selling out of a lot of the products they had, but they are going to replenish tonight and be back at it again tomorrow. Some great organizations that use this weekend, and I would assume they'll be back for the fall as great ways for fundraising. So they have great food available. Come and support a great cause. They are under the recently constructed pavilion. Across the way is the pit area. You can go around, take a look at all the cars. As I said, they're not making major repairs on their vehicle. They're more than welcome to talk to you about their particular vehicle and the ins and outs. And then as you make your way, you could get your free program from the souvenir stand that also has T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats. I believe I got everything from that particular souvenir stand, but great opportunity to get yourself some great items, some great food, and admission and parking is free beginning at 9 a.m. tomorrow here in Weatherly. And I believe I may have eavesdropped on a radio conversation. Sounds like one more car might be coming down. So I'm thinking we may be waiting on just one car to come back down before we start this second group. As we approach the 4 o'clock hour, we thank you those who have been joining us since 11 a.m. today. Well, maybe we have a bigger issue than I thought.
We got the course vehicle going up the hills. There's something wrong somewhere.
You almost wonder if it, just speculation, but you almost wonder if it was the vehicle that had the oil spill, that if they tried to come back down with it, maybe had another issue.
Well, occasionally we'll have problems with spectators being where they don't belong. That does happen. And we also have, and I know it's happened here, problems with bears being on the road or deer.
And I know they've been warning that that bears have been starting to wander around, especially the young ones, just trying to find their own place.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not the issue, but you never know.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to run into a bear.
No. No, not in the least. Well, with that being the case, if the courtesy truck went up, they may be there for a little bit. Let's hear from some more of our fine sponsors that have made it possible for us to be here in Weatherly today. Let's take another break. We'll be back with more from the 2024 spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb, watching it live on PTN, the Pocono Television Network, and as always, WYLN.
Do you remember we told everybody about midweek deals?
Yes, but didn't everyone tell you? So what did we say?
Easy travel. Less traveling time, more fun time. Less people Monday through Friday. And all this at a great price. And easy to book.
Not bad.
I'm glad I thought of midweek deals. Our guests just love it.
We came up with midweek deals because we knew that your wallet needed a vacation too. Check out PoconoMountains.com/offers.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. For all your roofing needs and for a free estimate, call Gerhard Roofing, 570-427-8407. Serving the greater Hazleton and Pocono areas since 1990. Gerhard Roofing in Weatherly. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update. Posted daily between noon and 2 p.m. Powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
We welcome you back to Weatherly. One more vehicle from Group 1 made its way down. I think we're just waiting on the go-ahead from every checkpoint to start Group 2. You're watching live coverage of day number 1 of the spring edition of the Weatherly Hill Climb here on WYLN. Brought to you by Fairway Subaru and in conjunction with Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. Those watching on PTN, the Pocono Television Network. I'm Marty Burns, joined by Tom Knorr. And I'm guessing, Tom, with this, what we're thinking may be last run of the day.
Yeah, I believe so.
What are the drivers looking for? See where they're at time-wise and see if there's something that has to be adjusted come Sunday morning?
Yeah, what they'll do at the party tonight, the meal they have, is they'll print out all the results, 5 or 6 sheets of paper, so they can look at that paper and see where they are as far as time. However, you can actually get your time instantly online. They have a website, I forget what it's called, but you can get your time so you don't even have to wait. But what you try to look at, how has your time changed? Has it gotten faster or slower? And of course, why is that? What changes do you need to make? What's that? Oh, pahillclimb.org. Yep, pahillclimb.org. I should know that. That's what happens when you get my age. Start forgetting stuff.
Well, then I'm not sure what my excuse is then, Tom. I don't know. Now, we did see the one vehicle come back, but I don't think the courtesy truck came down.
No, I don't think they came down yet.
So unless there's I'm guessing some type of cleanup issue.
Well, things have changed a lot. In the 60s and 70s, we had a lot of cars in each class. In a second.
Wow.
I mean, I remember at Hershey losing that hill climb by, I think, 0.06 of a second.
Wow.
And I should have won because it was actually snowing that weekend. It was in November. And they had me in first place by quite a bit, which is kind of unusual. By the end of the event, they informed me that first number was wrong.
Huh.
And I didn't push it hard after that because it was wet.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, like I said, I think losing like 0.06 of a second. Yeah, we had a guy go to Hershey Hill Climb, and he was a avid road racer. He went up the hill once, came down. He says, "I'm going home. You guys got to be crazy. This is like driving a car through a wooden tunnel, curved wooden tunnel." Well, the course truck is back down.
And you hear some drivers firing up, which includes Steve Marsh right at the starting line. Steve wasted no time making his way up. Certainly, ladies and gentlemen, be a part of this great crowd that was here today. Anticipate the same tomorrow, so racing begins at 9 a.m. Free admission, free parking, great food with some great organizations to deal with.
Of course, where we are, we just see the people at the start line. It'd be interesting to see how many people are at the turns, because you can go to every turn, walk to every turn. It's quite a hike to get to the top, but to watch the cars go over the jump turn is really entertaining. This is Bill Feist at the line. He's the president of the Giants Despair Hill Climbing Association, which is next month. July 12th and 13th, I believe it is.
99 up next is Bill Feist.
A pretty good start. And now we have George Boland, number 11, in his special built car. He built it himself. Pretty sure it's a snowmobile engine. George holds many records, not just in this state, but throughout the country. Fastest time of the weekend at hill climbs. I know he's raced in the West Coast. Excellent driver. And we talk about different people that we have here. A great diversity in age, too. I think George is in his 80s.
Wow. And now we're looking at Greg Hagan in the 31.
Yeah, this is a pretty fast car. It's a Formula car. I'm not sure what engine's in this. It might be a Formula Ford. That certainly is a different looking car.
That's Justin Reed in the 151.
Number 527 is Sherwin Paquette.
Yeah. Car in the line now, he is from the Bronx in New York. He's been running hill climbs for quite a while. Very, very, very nice looking car. He has quite a few sponsors too, which always helps.
And that is Sherwin Paquette.
Sherwin. Yeah, the tires alone. My goodness, you can pay up to $200 a tire now or more. Ellie in car number 9 is originally from England. She actually lives in Stroudsburg, which
yes,
of course is very close to where we're located here. Yeah, 1551. Forget his name, but he is a fireman with the Laurel Run Fire Company. And he's been affiliated with the Giants of Spare Hill Climb Association for many years. Yeah, I think this is pretty sure this is his first hill climb. Car 50 driven by Joe Whiteley. This, of course, is a right drive car. So in other words, you're not sitting on the left-hand side of the car, you're on the right-hand side. That's because, of course, it's an English car, and the English drive on the wrong side of the street.
Ryan Hurt coming down from Pittston. Do not forget, if you have kitchen and ceramic countertop needs, go to Broad Mountain Stone in Weatherly.
Next car number 344. I don't know who the driver is, but the car is called a Legend. It's based on the 1937 Ford, and it's very small, and I'm pretty sure it has a snowmobile engine in it or something similar to it. But because they're very light, they've got a short wheelbase. They're very successful in this kind of racing. Handle well. Yeah, purpose-built only for racing. They also will race these on some ovals. I've seen them there. Brian Fritzler's coming to the line, number 21. He designed this car, engineered it, and built it. It's a one-off. He lives in Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, down almost into Maryland. Yeah, this is Crystal Hogue. She lives here in Weatherly with her husband and 2 children. Yeah, this car's been around the block a few times.
is Matt Boyd for Weatherly.
So this is the next car is Chrissy Reed.
Number 11 is Chris Reed of South Park in the 99 Camaro.
Well, I think slowly but surely we're coming to the end of Group 2.
Number 306 is Eric Johnson in his 79 Mustang. Excuse me. Yeah.
Eric Johnson in the 306.
79 Mustang. We're almost done here.
You almost wonder we're a few cars down the line in pit row, but you almost wonder
Here,
if
let me get this out.
Ray Koshin of Weatherly may be the last one.
Number 23 is Jim Swift.
This is car 23, Jim Swift behind the wheel. This is the first time I've seen this car. Yeah, he got off the line really well. That's very important to turn in a good time.
463 Michael Croman of Sawyersville. That's a Mustang of Everside.
And back at the starting line, 463, Michael Croman.
Coming to the line now is car 57, a Volkswagen, driven by Grace Hunsinger from New Jersey. She was a huge help when we decided to go with the wireless system. She actually got the system to work along with a couple of other people. Yeah, Ray Cochin in 01.
From Weatherly, a lot of fans
from Weatherly,
coming
PA.
to take a look at his last run of the day.
Two, 4, 5. Wow. Dave Smith, number 3. He's from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He's been racing for a long time. He has a number of different race cars. This is a Formula V, which has the 1600 or 1800 original Beetle Volkswagen engine in it. He also has an Austin Healey Sprite and an MGB. So he's got quite a collection of cars. Yeah, on the road courses, we've had some great races over the years. So we've got 2, 4, 5, 6 of these cars made in Spain. I wonder what the holdup is now. Oh, goodness. Car 92. From Ireland, driving a car that is manufactured in Spain. Basically an oversized go-kart. I don't think they're that expensive either.
Well, Tom, we're in our final minute.
Okay.
I want to thank you so much for joining us again this year, offering your great expertise and knowledge, not only on hill climbs, but on these vehicles. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Very good. I've enjoyed it myself, too.
I appreciate it. Hopefully we get to do this again soon.
Yep. Yeah, if I'm still with us next year.
I'm sure you will be. Want to thank everybody from the PA Hill Climb Association. Want to thank President Joe Seibert and all his great volunteers from the Weatherly Hill Climb Association. And as always, got to thank our great production crew working hard to give you all the sights.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.